Judgment Day is upon us. This is Tottenham's biggest game of the season, and actually the biggest game that the club has faced in many years. It's pivotal for a number of reasons. Tottenham, could they actually end their drought on silverware? Tottenham, could the job of Ange Postecoglou be safe if he leads us to glory? So today on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, I'm going to be previewing the game against Eintracht Frankfurt in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. But before we go any further, if you are new to the talkSPORT YouTube channel, then drop us a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also leave your comments down below. What's your score prediction? So yes, as I say, it is a very important matchup. The first leg in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. And I'll speak for all Spurs fans here. It's been a very poor season. We find ourselves low down in the Premier League table. And the Europa League is the only thing we're fighting for. We limped out of the other cup competitions, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, and all our eggs would appear to be in this basket. And going into this game, we've come off of a okay result against Southampton, a positive one in terms of result, but you could tell a lot of the players were in second gear. They didn't want to get injured. That second half wasn't really that good enough. So today, as I say in this video, I'm going to be looking to how Tottenham can beat Eintracht Frankfurt, because they're no mugs. They're quite a solid side. They dispatched of Ajax in the previous round. So we'll be deep diving a little bit into what we can see with them, their star players, and then talking about Tottenham going into this one as well and the importance of that. So we'll start with that, because we'll start with Ange Postecoglou. So as many know, I am not the biggest fan of Ange Postecoglou anymore. I was, but you know, I'm pretty much want him to be sacked come the summer, if not, you know, if we possibly get knocked out of this game. But this game is of vital importance to Ange Postecoglou, because he's got a lot of skeptics, a lot of critics on his back, and they're looking at him in this game to see if he can prove them wrong. What Ange Postecoglou did earlier this season was he said a statement, and that statement was this.
Yeah, I think it helps having games, and we can rotate the squad, give some guys some opportunities. Yeah, I much prefer it that way. I guess having the international break after the last loss was kind of put you in a pause mode, but we've got plenty of games this month to ride these things we need to.
You said at the start of the season, the first campaign really about setting principles, getting your message across. The second campaign, you normally win. Are you seeing enough in this side that this season you do think that they will be a side that can win? I'm talking silverware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competing right at the top.
Am I going to answer the question, or are you going to keep asking? No, absolutely. And I think I'll correct myself. I don't usually win things. I always win things in my second year. Nothing's changed.
And you're confident you can do that with this side? You're seeing enough?
Well, I just said it now, so I don't say things unless I believe them.
So he basically set himself up to be ridiculed, because Tottenham, as I said earlier on, have already limped out of 2 cups and have had bad performances in both of them. I mean, the run-up in the Carabao Cup was good. There were some good victories, but against Liverpool, away at Anfield, it was a very poor display with a lack of fight. Similarly, in the FA Cup, struggled against, you know, a non-league Tamworth side, and then when we came towards some tough opposition in the shape of Aston Villa, again, we limped out and showed no fight. So that's the main thing that we need to show in this game. A lot of fight, a lot of potential, you know, that gut, you know. The thing is, people will see this game as being Spursy, you know, this Spursiness tag. But this is what it is. If we don't go into this game, you know, really with some aura and some belief that we can win and go through to the next round, then it's already lost. It's already gone. So that is where the game will be won and lost. And, you know, many people will be saying, what do I think the starting lineup should be? So this is what it is, and I'll put it on screen right now. Obviously, in goal, Vicario. I'd start with him. I think, you know, it's a no-brainer to go with Vicario. Has been amazing at shot stopping in recent games and really sets the tempo. The 2 centre-backs, you know, Mickey van der Ven has been saved in recent fixtures, so he should go straight in alongside Christian Romero, our most solid duo. I'd then go Jed Spence at right back, I believe. I think Jed Spence is the better choice over Pedro Porro. I mean, I have said that Jed Spence has been more solid as a left back recently, but I would rather start Destiny Udogie in this team. So I feel like that would be my back four. My midfield three, this is a tricky one because I think our midfield has been one of our worst areas on the pitch. I mean, if I was more confident, I'd go for Archie Gray, but I guess you'd have to go Bentancur, Maddison, and then Bergvall alongside, them. So that would be my midfield, and then my front three would be Solanke, Son, and I'd go Johnson. If it was Kulusevski, I'd probably play Kulusevski on the wing because we need as much creativity as we can in this side. So that would be my Tottenham side, and I think that's the best side we can possibly field at the moment. I mean, let me know what your lineup would be in the comments down below. But I just think when it comes to this game and how pivotal it is, and it's just those players have got to show what they're made of. Son has been, a lot of them have been inconsistent. Son, Maddison, Solanke has had his critics over recent weeks. They've got to really, bring their A game. Bentancur's been very poor. So it's going to be tricky. And I've not seen us play Ange ball in many months, weeks, whatever you want to do to measure it, in a long time. Probably since Manchester City, which is saying something. So yeah, I'm worried. My prediction is I don't think we're going to win the leg in general. And I'm also not a big fan that we have the home leg before the away leg. I prefer it the other way around. But these are the cards that we've been dealt, unfortunately. But yeah, if I was to go for a score, I think we'll win the first leg, but I don't think we'll win the second leg because I've been to the Frankfurt Stadium. It's an intimidating atmosphere. I was there for the Euros last year. It's a really good stadium, really holds the atmosphere well. So I'm not too confident about it. But yeah, that's where you guys will have to let me know what your predictions would be. But moving on. I'm not just the only one who predicts this and thinks this is what's going to happen. A lot of people have shared the same sort of outcomes.
Now, looking across the Europa League later this week, and it's a huge tie between Tottenham and Eintracht Frankfurt. Do you think Postecoglou's job depends on this game?
Without doubt. He's saying that, in his second season, he always wins a trophy. He's been quite defiant. He's now one by one getting all these players back. Van der Ven has been rested at the weekend, so he's ready. He's played 80-odd minutes the one before. Romero is another player that is really important. So I think that's where I think they've really suffered, is where they lose their two central defenders. That platform for them to go and play their high press, but have players at the back to deal with it. So yeah, let's see if they can go and do it now. If they, remarkably, if they win the Europa League, they can make it into the Champions League, which is just incredible. So we could have 6 teams, Premier League teams, playing in the Champions League next year. That would be something to behold. He's got that in the locker. It could certainly happen for him. Would he still stay in the job? Manchester United won the FA Cup last year. Maybe a lot of people saying that sort of tainted really what was happening. It papered over the cracks. But I think if he wins that, then it gives him time. It gives him another season, and then if he can keep his players fit, they can impact the Premier League. But right now, they're too low down in the divisions for a Spurs team to be, really taken seriously right now.
Postecoglou has no idea. He's out of his depth. He stands on the touchline, not engaging with the team when there is a break in play. He's the worst manager in Spurs' history. I'd rather have Christian Gross than that's saying something.
Christian, who come on the tube, didn't he, Christian?
He had his own little, I've got my ticket, yeah.
I come on the tube.
Yeah. So he's saying that Ange Postecoglou is the worst
that's
Spurs
a bit harsh. I mean, we put that to one side.
Why is that harsh, Pods?
Well, I don't think he is. But having said that, I don't know all Tottenham managers throughout the ages.
Well, let's just look at this season. 16 losses in the Premier League.
No, it's not very good. I mean, obviously, I've got all those stats in front of me.
So
the stats for Ange are not good.
How do we justify it other than what Nick's saying then?
Well, I think the real justification for Ange and the real crux is coming Thursday night.
And if that falls apart?
Then we are in big trouble. If I was in Ange's camp, if I was his agent, I would be suggesting, it's a game you got to win, my friend.
But for me, for example, just looking at Spurs, the group, the body language.
Did Maddison play today, by the way?
Maddison did play, managed 80 minutes as well.
Okay. Think he might start Thursday?
I hope so.
If you have a look around November time, just after we beat City, Spurs were in and around the top 4, right? Then all the injuries happened, and there was a lot of injuries. I'm not trying to make excuses now because they're back, but when you've got 14 players that are out, and most of them are your starting team, you are going to lose games, and the manner in which we were losing, we weren't losing them getting battered at most of the time, like 4 goals. It was like the odd goal. Yeah. So I didn't think we should sack him. I was very much, I want to stick with Ange and see that when he comes back, if we can get back to that level of where we were before that. You know, we weren't great at the start of the season, but we were still in games, we were still playing the Ange way. We've gone so far away from that now that I don't think that those players are remotely playing for him.
Sacking him is only half the job.
Yeah.
Right? So getting rid of him, fine. That's an easy decision. The next decision is who do you bring in? And where do you go from there? So there's that. It's a difficult one because what's the next move? How do you play? Look what Man United have done with Amorim, right? They sacked Ten Hag, fine. Let's bring in a manager of his mythology, the way that he wants to set teams. United have gone from a bad situation to a worse situation. It's tough to make that right call. And I get why you stuck with him, and I get why Levy's stuck with him. It's coming. Down the track, you know it's coming, right? But it's all about Europa League. As soon as we get the Europa League, we know he's a dead man walking now. When that happens, it's official.
Yeah.
Next season, make that call. Can't do it now.
And then moving on to the opposition in the shape of Frankfurt. They currently sit third in the Bundesliga, but their form has been a bit patchy over recent weeks. They actually come off the back of a loss against Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga, which, could be ideal, but you never know. But, in the Europa League league phase, which sounds like a mouthful when you say it, they finished actually below us. But as I say, they beat Ajax in the previous round as well, dispatched them quite easily. But you're probably wondering, Sonny, who are their star players or players that jump off the team sheet? First of all, you have Hugo Ekitike. Now, this name might ring a bell to you. He obviously is a French striker, has been highly talented, linked with some top moves to the Premier League this summer. In recent weeks, actually, he played alongside Matthias Tell and Wilson Odobert in the France under-21s and scored some really good goals from their assists. All Spurs fans were applauding the assists, and then you realise who scored the goals. But yeah, has had a bit of a tricky career, but as we know, Eintracht Frankfurt have had amazing strikers over the years. So he will be someone that, we need our top defenders on form to deal with him. I actually think Frankfurt is one of the trickier games in this run now towards the Europa League final. Obviously, if you play United, though, and Bilbao and Lazio, they'll be tricky, but this Frankfurt side are quite nifty. Play a similar formation to us as well, the sort of 4-2-3-1 that goes into a 4-3-3. And then, another one of their big players who you'll know, Mario Götze, obviously former World Cup winner, former World Cup final goal scorer, and, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich has been around the block in the Bundesliga. He's been a real good talisman for them as well. So that's where their creativity is going to come. But, they're a really good side. So we have got to be wary of them. And I could imagine us, the problem I have is, and this is where this video is coming from a tactical setup point of view, Ange's going to play the same way he always does. But what we do is we need to start on the front foot in this home game and try and get a few goals ahead. So then we go out to Frankfurt with a good goal lead. That's what worries me. But yeah, I'm very sceptical. I'm hoping to be proven wrong, but I don't think we're going to win the Europa League. I can't see that happening. So yeah, that's my thoughts ahead of the game. And you're going to have to let me know what you think is going to happen. Do you think we're going to win? Do you think we're going to lose? What do you reckon your scores are going to be? Any predictions on goal scorers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But yeah, until next time, leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And until then, which will be a match reaction to the Frankfurt game, I'll see you guys then. Ciao.